A Wells Fargo employee went to work the morning of Friday, August 16th and never went home. Tempe police tell 12 News 60-year-old scanned into work at 7 o'clock in the morning. 4 days later, police responded to the office building near Washington Street and Priest Drive for reports of a subject down. Prudhomme was declared dead. The Tempe Police Criminal Investigation Bureau is investigating. They say a colleague found Prudhomme dead at her desk in a cubicle while walking around the building on Tuesday, August 20th. Prudhomme's cubicle was reportedly on the 3rd floor and away from the main aisle. This employee says several people had smelled a foul odor, but passed it off as faulty plumbing. They say while most Wells Fargo employees at this Tempe location work remote, the building has 24/7 security, and someone should have found Prudhomme sooner.
Welcome back to Kingston Reviews. Derek here. Thank you guys for tuning in for another video. I really appreciate it. Today's video is about a 60-year-old woman that was found dead at Wells Fargo. Now that's not that crazy, but she was there 4 days before anybody found her. How could that be? Let's go ahead and talk about it.
A Wells Fargo employee went to work the morning of Friday, August 16th and never went home. Tempe police tell 12 News 60-year-old Denise Prudhomme scanned into work at 7 o'clock in the morning. 4 days later, police responded to the office building near Washington Street and Priest Drive for reports of a subject down. Prudhomme was declared dead. The Tempe Police Criminal Investigation Bureau is investigating.
So this is a direct example of how employers just don't care about employees anymore. You're basically just a cog in the wheel of production. And how is it possible that this lady could go to work and for 4 days no one called to see if she was off of work that day? No one said, hey, she hasn't replied to her emails. No one included her in a conference call. No one called to check on her. She has no relationship with her supervisor, her manager. And you know what the sad thing about this whole event is? That most likely than not, the person that will suffer the most is going to be the cleaning crew, or it's going to be the security officer that was responsible for walking that building. The people that manage that building that should have been reaching out to her and saying, hey, you're my employee. How are you doing today? Like at least every other day, at least once via email or text for the day, right? But let's go ahead and see how the story continues.
But do not suspect foul play. A Wells Fargo employee exclusively spoke with 12 News, but asked not to be recorded or identified out of fear for their job. They say a colleague found Prudhomme dead at her desk in a cubicle while walking around the building on Tuesday, August 20th. Prudhomme's cubicle was reportedly on the 3rd floor and away from the main aisle. This employee says several people had smelled a foul odor, but passed it off as faulty plumbing. They say while most Wells Fargo employees at this Tempe location work remote, the building has 24/7 security, and someone should have found Prudhomme sooner. The incident left several employees feeling scared and uneasy. This employee wants to see new safety protocols in place, telling me, quote, it's negligence in some part. A different worker also spoke with 12 News anonymously.
It was just uncomfortable.
Now, I'm not squeamish at all, but could you imagine having to be that employee that has to go back to work? You know that a next cubicle down at the end of the hall, the floor above, that this lady died at work, right? And nobody knew about it for 4 days. The other thing that I think is super interesting is that we live in a time and an age where this woman doesn't have close enough connections in her family that no one called and checked on her and see where she was. I think that's really interesting, and I think the fact that we're just in a different time and era that people can just live their life if they're not close to their family and no one's going to check up on her.
Again, calling on the company to do more.
Body was there about 4 days before anybody found it, before anybody walked up to her and just to say hi, make sure she's okay. She was just laying on her desk.
A Wells Fargo spokesperson previously sent 12 News a statement saying, in part, we are deeply saddened by the tragic loss of our colleague at our Tempe office, adding counselors through our employee assistance consulting service are available to support employees. An employee tells me their direct management offered those services, addressed the incident, and told workers the building was thoroughly cleaned.
So I want to say, if I had heard this story somewhere else, maybe a few years ago, I just wouldn't have believed it. But this lady was 4 days dead at her desk and nobody checked on her. I think this is really just a symptom of what we're seeing today, that companies really don't care as much anymore about their people, especially really big companies. I'm very thankful to God that I no longer have to do that, that my family, we work in our own business and we're able to support ourselves with that. And I hope to never rely on that. So tell me what you guys think about this. Like, how can this happen? How can an employee be at work for 4 days and nobody check on her? Nobody ask about her emails. Nobody sees if she's okay. I know the other part of it is personally, she may not have enough connections in her life that no one checked on her. But I just feel like this is a really incredible story. You guys go ahead and let me know what you think about it. If you guys like content like this, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I also wanted to thank all the recent comments and subscribers. We're well on our way to my goal of 500 subscribers, which I hope to meet that in the next month or two. Once I hit that 500 subscriber goal, I do have some great stories about my corporate life. I had the opportunity to see how companies treated their employees behind closed doors and how they treated and thought about their clients. And I'm going to share a lot of these things with you guys, how HR operated, how our senior management operated, the owners of the companies. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys in the future. So let me give you guys a teaser on some of the stories that I'll be telling you. I have a story about an HR director at this company that knowingly convinced one of our employees that was special needs, clearly special needs, convinced her that she was not SA'd by another employee. And this employee, we knew, actually had problems doing it and later confessed to doing it. And this HR director still terminated the employee. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you guys next time.